Yo, hit that subscribe button for daily boxing news. So Deontay Wilder has been in Brooklyn, New York, doing some media rather than being in a plane going over to the UK to confront the winner of Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua, as he should be doing to excite the fans, but he chose to instead take a flight to Brooklyn. You know, I know he had that little teaser where he was talking about he was going on a plane, getting on a plane, and some people thought maybe he was getting on a plane to go to Cardiff, you know. But he wasn't. He was actually getting on a plane to go to New York, Brooklyn. And he was talking about that he wants a body in his record. You know, he wants a body. Basically, he wants to kill one of his opponents. Probably his next opponent. He wants to kill his opponent. Now, when it comes to fighters saying stuff like they want to kill their opponents, or, you know, they want to brutalize their opponents, some boxing fans don't care about that. Some boxing fans, you know, like that, and some boxing fans get offended by that because they think it's a very sensitive subject and they think boxers shouldn't think like that. When it comes to me, I personally don't care if I see a fighter say that he wants to kill a fighter. Because I think you should think like that if you're fighting somebody in a professional ring. And I know that might sound, you know, cynical and evil, but we have to realize that boxing is a sport where you use both of your hands to try and inflict major damage to your opponent, right? You try and inflict major damage to your opponent because he's trying to inflict major damage on you. So it's if you think about it, savage sport. It has rules, right? It's like a savage sport with rules, right? Because there's a referee there. It's not like they're just going guns blazing and the guy, you know, they let them, you know, pick up knives and fucking bats and start beating the shit out of each other. No, you know, there's rules. There's a referee there to stop the fight, to, you know, if things get out of hand, to separate fighters. But still, and of course, they're also wearing gloves. They're not fighting with, you know, their knuckles or anything. They're fighting with padded gloves. But still, it's a savage sport if you think about it. I mean, when you tune in to watch boxing, you're tuning in basically to watch two men beat the shit out of each other. And what do you do as you're watching two men beat the shit out of each other? You start hollering, right? You start saying, oh shit. I mean, there are several boxing fans that literally start screaming at the TV screen saying, knock that motherfucker out. Knock that motherfucker out, dude. I be sitting next to boxing fans all the time, you know, screaming at the TV screen, begging the guy they're rooting for to knock out the other guy. So, you know, that's how boxing fans are. That's how people are. You know, I think people in general have a side of them that, even though they know that some of these things are savage, you know, especially a sport like boxing, or especially a sport like MMA, we got guys, you know, when I see boxing fans get offended or get angry when they see a fighter say something like, you know, I'm gonna kill, or I want to kill my opponent, because again, these guys are trying to knock each other's heads off. I get it, you know, for, you know, people, they don't like the idea of you having this, you know, saying stuff like, I'm going to kill this guy, I'm going to kill this guy. But at the end of the day, boxing is legal, right? It's a legal sport. It's not like while they're saying, I'm going to kill this guy, and then, you know, he's going to go to him and, you know, do something outside of the ring that it's illegal, you know, right? All this is happening in the ring. And, you know, unfortunately, when it comes to boxing, sometimes fighters die, right? Sometimes fighters get hit and they pass away. I mean, even in sparring, sometimes people get hit, because obviously the human body is not meant to be taken. Robinson, Sugar Ray Robinson is an iconic fighter. A lot of people say he's the greatest fighter of all time, but I mean, look at Sugar Ray Robinson at the end of his career. I mean, he was like a zombie. He couldn't even talk. You know, and it was, a lot of people say it was because of all the punishment he took during his career. Look at Muhammad Ali, right? One of the most outspoken boxers in boxing, one of the most iconic boxers in boxing. I mean, look at him at the end of his life. You know, he was with Parkinson's. He looked like a vegetable. A lot of people say it was the effects of boxing. I mean, look at Riddick Bowe. I can't understand a Riddick Bowe. I mean, look at an interview of Riddick Bowe from 1992 and now. Complete different guy. Complete different guy. You can't even understand the guy. James, don't even get me started with James Toney. You can't understand James Toney. But that's just boxing, you know. Boxing is a violent sport. And Wilder wants to have a body in his record. So I personally don't like take offense to that when I hear Wilder say that. So his next opponent, the next guy he fights, better watch out, because, you know, the next guy might be Dillian Whyte, depending if Wilder ducks him or not. And Wilder seems to have a lot of anger. And normally when he fights angry, he normally knocks his opponent, you know, brutally out. When he fought Bermane Stiverne, leading up to that fight, he was very angry. He was pissed off. And you saw what happened. It looked like he, you know, killed Stiverne. When he fought Luis Ortiz, he was very angry. And he brutally knocked out Stiverne. I mean, excuse me, Luis Ortiz. So I think if he fought Dillian Whyte next, I think he'll go into that fight really pissed off, because a lot of people believe he's afraid of Dillian Whyte. Right? And Dillian Whyte talks a lot of, you know, shit too to him. So I think he's going to go into that fight really mad. And I wouldn't be shocked if he brutally knocked out Dillian Whyte. Because I personally think he can knock him out. Anyway, guys, that's all to say. Thanks for watching the video. If you watched from start to finish, as always,